Self, but let's talk about one of the highest paid receivers in the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's right. CD Lamb and count. He was awarded 34 million a year for 136 millions for the next 4 years. So
So
not
much
only
deserving. So deserving.
so
Why are you laughing?
because I talked about this on Monday night, mic'd up, and you
They could have
know,
already done this.
I'm gonna get into it, and I'm gonna see what PR Cowboy and Cowboys Corner think about it. We had Troy Aikman. I'm gonna get right, definitely dig right into it. We had Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, and Michael Irvin that won 3 Super Bowls. They got the hardware, but they didn't make this kind of money. Are this where we are now? It's about numbers and not hardware. I mean, Cowboys Corner.
We're
There's
not going
no
to get the
ribbon.
hardware.
I
We're
said
not
this
going to get the hardware
before.
without the players.
It's not even a first place ribbon, not a second place ribbon, but you got $134 million and no hardware, no first place ribbon to show for. I
Yeah.
understand. But what do you think, Cowboys Corner? I'm just saying, God
Yeah.
almighty, that's in.
First of all, I hit a button that said stream to your audience. I hit it, and we're live on Cowboys Corner too. So this is pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. I see you up there. Yeah, you can do that, bro. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. There's that. But anyway, I get it. You got to win something. The way we seen CD Lamb go out against the Packers game, not being there for Dak Prescott, doing this, doing that on the sidelines, how to get talk, getting pushed in the back, not having energy to match it. We don't need to see that from CD Lamb no more. I need a dog CD Lamb. That's what I need. And I need this contract to reflect that. There's a certain standard. If you're going to get paid the second most money in the league, there's a standard that, yes, you can have 1,700 yards, CD. You definitely can. But if you get pushed in the back, I need your helmet to hit his helmet, and I need you to talk mess.
Woo, give it up.
That's what I need.
That's real talk. If you're going to make the money, you got to have something to go show for, right? PR Cowboy, what are you thinking, bro?
Yeah.
I mean,
100%. 100%.
This is more money than some small third world countries, brother. So, there's high expectation.
It's 100% right on the dot, because if you look at last year, who was the one guy that did get into somebody's face and doesn't make that type of money? Jake Ferguson. That guy got in people's faces. And so, CD, I need that type of energy from you. You need to match that energy, and I need, same thing goes for everybody. When you're in the playoffs, that kind of money, it better show up in the playoffs.
And that's so true. So there's no more excuses, no more pouty baby, no more whiny baby. And like I say, he has put up the numbers. But my question was, man, it's just like, I mean, we are paying these players. We're looking at Jamar Chase still have 2 years on his contract, and he's holding out. What the crap? So, it's like it seems like it's not about the hardware anymore. I mean, it's about numbers, so I guess I'm old school Cowboys Corner. It's like, we're looking at these guys back in the 90s that, they did 2 days, they practice outdoors, and but I guess, like you're saying, I understand people was telling me, well, Gary, it's a new day and age. It's a new day and age. But God almighty, at least have a first place ribbon to go with the money and the contract that you're getting, right?
Right. But I'm still tripping that this is streaming on Cowboys Corner too. Like, I'm still mind blown.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I didn't know if you want to stream your
Well, I didn't know if I had your permission. I just tried it and it worked. Now I feel bad.
Oh, man, for sure, man. Yeah, you're great, man. Appreciate you inviting everybody in, man. Welcome to the Cowboys Huddle Podcast, everybody. Give it up for all Cowboy Corners subscribers and followers. Give it up.
Yeah. And G Hampton, if you guys remember him, he was watching that third preseason game with me, so I appreciate him tuning on. So you're not a stranger to the Cowboys Corner world. To my right, which would be your left, guys, this is PR Cowboys. He comes on and does a weekly show with G Hampton. So
I got on
This is
there.
on their channel. So,
That was
and
a
I
good
don't have a
show
link to say
Saturday.
talking. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, that was a good show Saturday. I was able to get about 20 minutes of it. Good stuff.
Oh, appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it was a good
Yeah.
show.
Appreciate that.
Damn good
And
show.
I don't have a link to share like I usually do, guys. So this is all G Hampton space. Let's keep it respectful. Let's show them what the power of the corner here. But no, I'm with you. I'm with you, dude. And I feel like you need some skins on the wall to get the paycheck in the bank, right?
Mm.
And, CD Lamb came up, drafted the COVID year, 2020, came in here, and we just seen CD Lamb grow. That's what we got to
Yeah,
see. The
Yeah.
production, the touchdowns,
yeah,
the man of CD Lamb with what he does off the field for the community there that he's given back to. It's amazing. And, holding out 2 years, that's their problem over there in the
yeah,
bingo world, right? But we took care of our problem. We took care of our own. The Dallas Cowboys signed CD Lamb. You know, whether it was going to get done, if it wasn't going to get done, we knew CD Lamb was going to be there week one. He talked about how he missed it. He talked about how he almost caved in and went to the Star in Frisco just to see the homies, but he know he couldn't. And his agent, this is all agent's fault. His agent
yeah,
called CD Lamb up and said, "We got a problem. They're not gonna pay you more than 34 mil." And CD Lamb said, "What? Where do I sign?" So this was all the agent's idea. The agent kept fighting. They could have got this done months ago, but these Cowboy players, these NFL players, really need to look at their agent and say, what are we really doing here? Let me get involved. Why is this taking forever?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy work.
yeah, and it is. And and I think an agent plays a major role in this. I mean, they get 3% or whatever so they're going to push for the money. I mean, we saw what Todd France did with Dak Prescott, but dude, I'm just looking at a lot of these players, man. I'm like, again, we talk about Jamar Chase. He still got 2 years left on his contract, and he's holding out. And let's talk about this as well. And I'm glad for CD. I really am glad for his
Yeah.
CD. But he's going to be getting $1 million a game this season. So, and then he just signed a $34 million signing bonus. This say CD, can I hold something, bro? Let me just hold by. Let me hold by 500. Just 500. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know what I mean? But yeah, PR Cowboys. So again, CD is back. I had a chance to see him come out yesterday. I went to the training camp up in Frisco yesterday, man. It was pretty cool. Let me say, it took forever for them to come out, man. They only practiced an hour. I was kind of a little pissed off a little bit because we only got 2 days of training camp, and then they only gave us a 1 hour of practice, and then they came out with helmet shells and shorts. I'm like, what the crap? It's like, damn, this is the home. This is home, and this is what we get. So yeah, it was more like a walkthrough. So, but yeah, man. But it was good seeing CD out there and Dak and Zeke back out there wearing sporting the number 15. So, but with that being said, guys, we also got to talk about this. So we have a new signee. Give it up. So Tom Pelissero, he reported for X after not participating in camp and the preseason. Dalvin Cook will ramp up initially on the practice squad, familiarize himself with the system before being activated. He's been training nonstop and should be ready to roll sooner than later. So give it up for Dalvin Cook. PR Cowboy, how you feeling about Dalvin Cook being on this squad, bro?
I I feel like it's a year too late. Um, this was something. This was something that we wanted last year, right? This was something they always do this stuff a year too late. This is something that we're like, hey, let's bring another running back in here, to help Pollard to make that. And he just got older. And like I said, I hope he comes in and does well for us. Like I said, I'm not rooting against the guy, but my optimism is just not there for him. And I don't think, I mean, if they activate him, is it going to be week 2, week 3? What is it? Is it? In my opinion, I think they're going to roll with Rico and Zeke to see how it looks before they even try to do anything else and bring them back into the active roster. That's what I think they'll do. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of optimism for it. I hope I'm wrong about it. I hope he comes out and helps this team, but it's just not there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Cowboys corner, Dalvin Cook. I mean, we should have got him about 3 years ago. But here we are. We got Dalvin Cook on the practice squad, familiarizing himself with the offense. So how do you feel about having him on the squad?
Yeah, I like it. I really do. I feel like this is good insurance to have a veteran in a good system that has a better offensive line. The Jets went and took our offensive lineman and got some other people off the lineman because they didn't have a good offensive line. You look at what he did with the Ravens in the couple of opportunities they did have. He didn't look bad, right? So he's coming into a great system. It was between us and the Colts. Obviously, he's going to choose America's team because that's what we are about, right? And he to me right now, he's better than Ezekiel Elliott. Right now,
I had to throw that in there.
right now.
And you know what? Time will tell. We'll see how. But okay, so with that being said, man, I think a lot of us was rooting for Deuce. So it's no Deuces for Deuce, but he's still on the squad. But damn, what does this say about Deuce now? I mean, now they just push him further back, or will they have a package for Deuce? But not only that, guys, we had to talk about this here. We kept Deuce, we kept Hunter Luepke. Now, by us keeping these two individuals, I'm hoping that they have certain packages for these guys because I've seen some guys that we cut that we could have kept, like Justin Rogers. We could have kept Justin Rogers. We released Justin Rogers. But for these two positions that we kept these individuals for PR Cowboy, do you think that there will be a role for these two individuals, for Deuce and Hunter Luepke? Or I mean, I'm a little baffled on this one.
I think Lukey for sure. I think you won't see what you saw last year. I think McCarthy will get Lukey more involved. Deuce, like I said, this comes back to the signing of this running back as insurance. I think they're going to roll with them and get him some packages. But if it doesn't look well, if he doesn't look good week 1, week 2, that's when the other running back comes in. Deuce, like I said, I just don't think it's there. I think they're trying to make something that's not there. But they're going to throw some packages in there. They're going to try to get him in space. We'll see what he can do. But that's just me. I think that's what you see in this running back signing is part of that reason right there. But Lukey, I do see a more bigger role for him this year.
Yeah, I guess with that H back or something of that nature. Cowboys corner. I mean, I see Deuce playing on special teams. I see with this new special teams, how we got it set up. I can see him definitely playing back there, maybe with Cavante Turpin, both of those guys being back there. But at the same time, now that you bring Dalvin Cook in, it seems like Deuce would probably be pushed farther back, or maybe it'll be a competition. So what are you thinking about that, bro?
Deuce Vaughn was activated 2 or 3 times last year. And so there's no point of having Deuce on this team. There just isn't. I think Dalvin Cook is going to have more opportunities right now than Deuce Vaughn will. And you guys remember, Cooks is on the practice squad, right? So if he gets elevated 3 times, he has to sign to the 53 or he has to get cut. The Cowboys ain't cutting Dalvin Cook because he's going to make an instant impact on this team. So Mighty Mouse can only get saved if someone goes to IR. That's the only way Deuce Vaughn can get saved. There's absolutely no reason that they picked Deuce Vaughn over Malik Davis. No reason why they picked Deuce Vaughn over Royce Freeman. There's no reason for that.
Well, it was a beautiful story, Cowboys corner. It was a beautiful story. His dad called him, and he had tears in his eyes, and the whole war room was crying. And he said, "Son, would you like to come to work with Dad?" "Sure, Dad."
There's so many books. Story. There's so many books that are beautiful stories that aren't a movie. All right, and sometimes you don't want to make a movie out of a book because it just doesn't pan out. And right now they're trying to make a movie out of this book, and it ain't panning out. And I feel like, damn, that was a good analogy. I'm on fire today. And I
Go
feel
ahead.
like, I feel like there's more that can be given to this running back room outside of Deuce Vaughn, and they missed that mark.
Man, we missed that mark. We really did. And I'm now that these players are being released. Who was that? P. Ryan, he was released. So there are some other players out there, but yeah, again, we don't know what the future holds for Deuce, man, and Hunter Luke is as well. I mean, because right now we're at a point to where things can still happen. Things can still happen within the next few days. Who knows? But yeah, so that's where we are. So now we got CD signed and we got Dalvin signed. So now with that being said, CD had something to say about Dak. And let me see, where is it at? Basically, CD said something about Dak, and he's really backing Dak. Even though what we saw in that last game looked like they was, at each other, but or they wasn't getting along, or whatever the case may be. But so he was asked about Dak. So here's his quote. He said, "You look at our numbers together; they're at the top of the charts. I have no doubt that they're going to get a deal done. Okay, we all know that I want Dak here. Jerry wants Dak here too." So let's just get this under control and kill the speculation. What? That's what your number one receiver said, Cowboys corner, and that's what he said about your guy Dak. So so what do you? I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel about his comments he said about his quarterback? That's his quarterback, man.
I don't expect anything less. If he would have
Yeah,
said, don't sign Dak, let him go to another team, he chokes in the playoffs. My mom was right. We'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? So it's textbook media answers. There's a lot
yeah,
of fans that said, oh, CeeDee Lamb went to Jerry and said, is Dak going to be my quarterback? That's the only reason why he got signed. That's not $100 million
Yeah.
guaranteed. With
Yes,
or
sir.
without Dak, he's signing that $100 million. That goes into his pocket, guaranteed. Right? That's BS. That's narrative talk. That's cap talk, and that's typical and no pun intended PR talk. All
yeah,
right, that's just what that is.
yeah. So here we are, and I heard Lewis Riddick say this. He was talking about Dak, and he said something like, way Jerry is thinking right now. He know he wanted to get CD Lamb signed, in which he has done that. Also, basically, he has gotten this front line, offensive line, pretty much where he wants it. So he's building this team, and he has added some key pieces to the defense. So, and then we bring in Dalvin Cook, which now the backfield is looking pretty good. So, again, when we talk about Dak, PR Cowboy, is he going to be willing to pay Dak, or does it seem like his mind is made up that we're just going to move on, we're going to do something different? I mean, we
It's
know
hard to.
none of us know what Jerry's going to do.
Yeah, no.
We're only assuming
We
and
always,
guessing.
Jerry's always saying one thing, and we don't, sometimes we don't even know what he's talking about. Sometimes, with his comments. But I've said this all along. I think his deal gets done at some point. I said it would be before the season. Now I'm more thinking the way they're talking. Talks will go on through the season. So regardless, after what we saw, I think Trey stays on this team. But after what we saw during the preseason, I think Dak's deal gets done, and because Trey needs reps, it is what it is. He needs more reps, and I think I think it gets done. My prediction was still before the season. Uh, that was my prediction. So yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Trey Lance just a minute. So Mike said the thing I'm concerned about with not signing Dak is the huge cap hit. That's a huge 40
Oh yeah,
million
yeah.
cap hit
I
that we're
mean,
going to have to, if not the cap hit, I'd say we should move on. But the cap hit is a major and it is. Dak got him by the
no.
Dak.
No, he don't. No, he don't.
Wait a minute.
No, he
Well,
don't.
you gonna eat that 40 million?
The, you're going to have to, regardless whether he's extended or not.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
1980 in the house, Dallas Cowboy fan, 1980. This is a guest stream, brother. This ain't my show. I don't know. I clicked a button and it streamed on
Hey,
Cowboys Corner. So,
hey, 1980, you can
it's a
come on
guest
if you
live
want
stream.
to, bro. I just put the link up there. Come on and chime in if you want to. You
And
more than welcome.
I think so the 40 million, right?
Yeah,
They got 28 million in cap space right now. The season's about to start. Okay?
yeah.
That if they don't use that money, that rolls over. So if my math is correct, that 28 cancels 28 million out of that 40. So that cap hit is 12 million plus the money they're supposed to have in the actual books itself. Right? So even if they do not extend Prescott, that 28 could roll over and alleviate that. They've ate more money in one season than 12 million. So it's only possible if they don't do any other. They don't do any like they could do other contracts and make more money roll over, right? But they got bukus of money next salary cap. They got 28 million right now that could roll over. That $40 million is looking like chump change. So when people say that they got something like this, Jerry knows exactly what he's doing.
You know, see, we know who to go to. The guy that sits in the corner. His name is Cowboy Corner. Give it up for Cowboy Corner. Cowboy Corner, they sit you in the corner when you was in high school or in middle school or elementary.
You know,
Look up for that.
I stood in the corner. I got spanked in the corner. I got thrown into a corner. I got backed into a corner. But right now, I'm talking about Cowboys corner.
Woo, give it up. So, okay, and we're talking about that. Like I said, the uncertainty of Dak. But let's go back to Trey Lance. So Trey Lance is on this team, PR Cowboy,
Yeah.
and he's the third quarterback. So what is it looking like with Trey Lance? I mean, now they're saying that this is a Mike McCarthy project. What are we doing? Are we preparing him, or what do you think is going to happen with Trey? Even though that last outing, and let's talk about that last game of the Chargers. And I think me and Cowboys Corner, we was watching that game, and again, I was a little suspect Cowboys Corner. I mean, like I said, when we was on the 6 yard line, I was wondering why we was in a shotgun, and before that, the Rams game, uh, Mike McCarthy confessed, said, "Well, I shouldn't have never called that play." Well, guess what? He did it again.
Yeah.
So I say that to say why, and you and I was watching it live, but he was on the 6 yard line, and you tried to force a pass, which the defense, well, we're going to play the pass, and what do? They drop back into coverage, and you and I, all of us know, it's so much harder to throw inside the 20 than it is the 50. So Cowboys corner, you and I saw that. And with the mistakes, how much of this is on? How much is this? Matter of fact, let me go back to you, PR Cap, because I started with you. PR Cap, how much is this is on Trey of what we saw against the Chargers, and how much is this is on coaching?
No, it's and like you said, you saw better stuff out of him in the second game because of the better play calling than you did in the first or third game. Now, I will say this: I do feel like he still is a project. Like they admit it. He needs more reps. That he hasn't had a lot of playing time, and there were some good things, right? You saw some dimes thrown, the receiver dropped one in the end zone. That would have been a perfect, beautiful pass. You saw some beautiful things from him, but to me, it just doesn't jump off the tape to me yet for him.
Yeah,
But like he's only going to be 24, guys.
yeah,
24. It if they want to make this a project, and let's say by the time he's 26, 27, and then you start seeing that next level stuff of what you want to see from your quarterback, that he could still play 10 plus years at 26, 27 years old. So I'm like I said, I don't want to root. I'm not rooting against the guy. Like I said, I
yeah.
hope they hold on to him because there is some good things there that you can work with. But it is right. He's a project. He still needs some more reps.
Okay. Same question to you, Cowboys corner. How much of this what we did, and let me say we did see progression. I mean, we did see progression. We saw him better than he was in the first game. We saw him better than he was in the second game. But the 5 interceptions, where did that stem from? And how did
You
that
know,
go?
you look at the first two games. You look at the Rams game when he threw it over 40 times. It wasn't his best performance. You look at the Raiders game when it was a lot of run pass balance, and Trey Lance looked better. 65% pass completions, had a touchdown. He looked really good. And then you go into this Chargers game, and he's throwing it over almost 50 times,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, I mean, DeMarco Murray. Let me use this. DeMarco Murray got a lot of touches in his last year as a Dallas Cowboy. And a lot of touches, what did he do with a lot of touches? He fumbled more, right? So if you're throwing the ball more and you don't have a lot of game experience, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to throw interceptions. And what blows my mind, PR, what blows my mind, Gene Hampton, is these Cowboy fans, some of these Cowboy fans will hold a standard to a third string quarterback.
Yeah, and that's sad.
And not hold the same standard to the guy that's on top of the food chain and salary cap, that's a 9-year starter. They don't give Dak none of this hate and grief like they're doing to a third string quarterback. It blows my mind. Mike McCarthy should have known better that he had to manage this game correctly. Your defense is playing really good. You got to give this young kid momentum. He's in his 4th year as in the league. Yes, he's 2-2 as a starter. Absolutely. But he's in a new system. This was the first 3 games in a new system, in a new town, in a new uniform, and people are ready to write him off.
No.
It blows my mind. They're scared of the unknown. They're scared that he could possibly look good next year. He could look even better than what he did, right? So this, to answer your question, G. Hampton, this has everything to do with Trey Lance and Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Should Trey Lance learn to throw the ball away? Absolutely. Should Trey Lance know to put more air on it when there's a linebacker there? Absolutely. But 14 did no favors for Trey.
No, Cropper.
Whoever number 14 is didn't do anything.
No, that wasn't Cropper. That was damn, I forget his name.
I can't remember. I know he dropped that one and right in the end zone, hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, 14 did him no favors on the last 2 interceptions, right?
Cam Johnson, I believe that's who it was.
But Mike McCarthy has to know, okay, I let him throw 40 times against the Rams. It didn't work out. I game managed him against the Raiders. He looked good. Why not use that same game plan and build on that, Mike?
Well, number one, Mike, the thing about it is Mike McCarthy didn't even call the plays.
Who called the play?
It was the quarterback coach.
Who did?
Schottenheimer?
No, I wasn't even Schottenheimer and the quarterback coach. That's why I kept asking. I kept saying to you, I say, Mike, who is that other guy that keeps showing? He was the one calling the plays.
Oh, my God. Fire him.
So here's the deal. It just reminds me of something for somebody to say, I want to run the damn ball. I know how to win. But you have this guy throwing in a preseason game for 328 yards. 328 yards, which he ran a touchdown, he threw a touchdown. We're going to stay on this long. But at the same time, when you're throwing that many yards, throwing that many balls, you're a suspect to throw several interceptions. And that's exactly what we saw. Okay. So, I'm not surprised, but then at the same time, I'm looking, I'm like, well, damn, 328 yards between the 50s, between the 20s, rather. Does it remind you of something? It reminds you of something. This is what we saw in the past. And this is the formula that Mike McCarthy has. But I want to run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. But you throwing the ball 40 and 50 times a game, that is a lot of balls to be thrown around, PR Cowboy.
Yeah, and I don't know what his plan was. I don't know if it was just to try to show him off some more and just. But you didn't do him any favors was one thing. And like I said, whatever they do with him, I hope I want to keep him. That's my opinion. I want to keep him on this team, and even if he sits for another year or two, and just let him get better because there is some things to work there with. So I hope he does stay on the team. and just continue to get better, man. Just get, and I wish the best for him, man. I hope he, like I said, and you're right, McCarthy. This 50 times. It's horrible. It's just horrible for him. And like you said, the second game he looked better. He looked uh yeah, that run pass balance. What you play to his strength, right? It's like any quarterback. You get them in an early
Yeah,
rhythm. Whether it's just a wide receiver screen or just a quick pass, just to get them going or something like that. And you just didn't do that. And you have to do that with any quarterback. I don't care who it is. You have to get them in the rhythm.
yeah. So Jacob Jennings, give it up for Jacob Jennings. He said, "So nothing isn't going to change. Basically, give it up." Well, this is all on Mike McCarthy. And I'm gonna tell you something. If Mike McCarthy comes out and starting out sour and he start dragging his feet and start losing games, we got a guy that knows a guy that's sitting next to the guy that would take over this team. And his name is Mike Zimmer. I'm just saying. Craig English said people attack Trey for throwing interception, but not. Ooh. But this is what we're saying. So even with Dak, is it because of the play calling? Is it because I know I saw one time when Trey was getting ready to try to force a ball, it was covered. It was covered. He had nowhere to throw him. Like, damn, why did you call that play? Mike McCarthy is getting our coach. It kind of reminds me, maybe Mike McCarthy is like Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells was one of the best coaches out there at one time, but he stayed in the game too long, just like Wade Phillips. And the game passes you up. You know what I mean? There's my guy, Robert. Give it up for Robert. He's in the house. So maybe that's where we are with Mike McCarthy. But I'm not blaming Jerry, but Jerry's like, listen, this is it. You got to show me or we're going to do something different. So, but that's where we are. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a little leery, see what this is going to look like, but it just reminded me so much of
And
last year.
and you kind of wonder if the whole Jason Garrett experiences has, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we held on to Jason, what, 9, 10 years?
Nine
And
years.
we're talking about McCarthy in his fifth year, which I understand he still hasn't had the playoff success. He's been more consistent getting to the playoffs. But I wonder that kind of wears thin on Jerry too. Like, hey, I don't want to wait too long like I did with Garrett. And you know what I'm saying? I wonder if that kind of enters his mind as well. I was happy with the McCarthy hire when they brought him in. I'm one of
I
the ones
was
that,
too.
like, I will back him still. But like I
Yeah.
said, I wonder in Jerry's mind if that could be going through his mind. I don't want to go too long with this like I did with the other guy.
Well, we already know that Jerry Jones clock is ticking. He don't have much time. He cannot
Yeah.
rebuild. He don't have time to rebuild. He knows this, so he has to try to put something together like ASAP. So again, that's why Mike McCarthy is on this last year contract. So I hope we can get Detroit OC for head coach. Oh, well, you never know. You never know. Yeah, I was on McCarthy. I was iffy on McCarthy as well, but I thought at the time he was the best candidate at the time when we was looking for a coach, which he has a nice resume and he has an over 500% winning rate, so he was a perfect guy. But let's move on from all that, guys. Let's get into this roster. Give it up for this 2024 roster, man. Here we are, and I'm trying to see if I can. So let me see if I can share this with you guys so you guys can see this as well. But man, the roster is out, and this is what we have. So let's get into it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go right here. So how y'all feeling about this chart? That I mean, here we are with uh your new 53. Here we go as far as Dak, Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance. Any surprises to you, Cowboy Corner?
Yeah, Span Ford making the team is
I
really
know it.
puzzling me. Like the only thing he could do is block, and you got him as a fourth string. He's not going to be active most of it. So why is he still here, right? Um, Deuce Vaughn, another surprise to me of why he made it. Um, you know, the O line I actually predicted right here. I mean, this was my 53 that I predicted, and Lawson getting cut was pretty shocking. Lawson talked a big game, but he didn't do much in the preseason to really stick out. Justin Rogers. Why is Justin Rogers not on the practice squad? Why is Justin Rogers not on a 53-man roster right now? That blows my mind. The 7th-round pick out of Auburn. He should be on this practice squad. He should be on the or be on this 53.
Yeah, I totally agree. We sacrificed Justin Rogers for Mozzie Smith.
That's sad.
Yeah.
We sacrificed Justin Rogers for Mozzie Smith. And Pete, I don't know, man. You can say what you want, but I'm not sold on Mozzie. I am not sold on Mozzie. I
No.
was really sold on Justin, and now Justin is headed over to Cincinnati on their practice squad.
Is he really? Justin
Yes,
Rogers?
Yeah.
yes, he's out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you hurt my feeling. Oh, and one more name. Julius Wood should have made this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's on his way to Tennessee.
And he's on his way to Tennessee. You broke my heart twice.
Well, and that's just where that's where we are, man. Hey, but I can't say I'm surprised. I'm glad we kept Buddy Johnson. Buddy Johnson's on the team. Who else? Dude, we kept Andrew Booth. Are we? I mean, are we okay with that? But
Yeah.
man, yesterday
Yeah.
I saw him yesterday. He got burned again. I know that's your guy, Mike, but he got burned again right there at Frisco, the Ford Center. So I don't know.
Iron sharpens iron.
Okay, we'll stick with that then. But I got to tell you guys this: why did they sign Dalvin Cook? Well, we that you know what, time will tell, Robert. Time will tell. He is not better than Rico. Well, and here's the thing about Rico, and we're gonna get back to this schedule. Rico has to prove he can stay healthy. He has to prove he can stay healthy. That's the thing with Rico. We don't know if he can stay healthy. But yeah, so back to what we was talking about. So yeah, this is where we are, man. I mean, we sacrifice them in individuals. Justin Rogers showed up. He did show up. Justin Rogers did show up. But again, I am not sold on Mozzie Smith right now. I'm just not. So I don't know, man. Yeah. So let's see who else we got on here. Yeah, Andrew Booth. So what about Booth? What was you gonna say about Booth, Mike?
Oh, you know, he's only been with Al Harris for a couple of weeks. If you look at Israel Mukuamu, who's now a cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, was a safety under Dan Quinn, playing in his natural position, making the team. I think Israel Mukuamu is going to be opposite of Trayvon Diggs, and Jordan Lewis is going to be your slot. Israel Mukuamu has really turned it around for me, showed a lot of consistency in training camp and in the preseason. But Andrew Booth Jr., he don't need to step in there right away. We traded Nahshon Wright to the Vikings in exchange for Booth Jr. Booth Jr. is still on this team, and Nahshon Wright is looking for a job, right? Who won that trade? There's still a lot of – and I was high on Booth Jr. out of Clemson in 2022. We do the first report on Tuesdays with Cowboys blog. We talk about this draft. We break it all down. Booth Jr. was my guy. And to have him and get rid of Nahshon Wright, count me in for a good time. We're drinking till we're greedy. And I feel like Booth Jr. doesn't have to make an impact right away. He can go in there and learn from a guy like Al Harris.
Yeah. Well, you know, guess what? I know that's what we want to see, but they had the rookie out there, Kalen Carson, as the starter. They had on yesterday, they had Kalen Carson at cornerback, and they had your guy, Israel, still at safety.
Really?
Really? I saw
on
that
the depth chart. They have him as a corner. Is he a corner on this depth chart?
No, they got him as a safety. They got Israel as a safety, but they got Kalen Carson. He is going to step in for Deron Bland. I don't know how that's going to work, but and then they got, you see right there, they got C.J. Goodwin behind Kalen Carson. So, I don't know, man. So just something to see. We have to see what happens with that. But Pete, what do you see? Anything that caught your eye? And
like I said, you pretty much hit it, man. Justin Rogers, Will Harvey was one that I
know it. I thought about him, dude.
That was, I mean, how much different if he catches those two picks that he in his hands? Is that the difference in this of him not making the team? That's just crazy because he was still around the ball. Woods, and then like you said, Woods, man, I was just like, son of a gun. I can't. That tore me down. Was Woods? getting cut and not putting him back on the practice squad. So mostly for me is on the defensive side of the ball. And we talked about it too. I think Carson, that was my option was Carson being in Bland's spot because now we got to look at this. Bland's had a couple really good years, and then he could be that next guy that also too could be looking at a contract. What is hypothetical if Carson has this window to shine, you have that option, Um, and then if you look at the practice squad, like I said, I like our cornerback depth. Booth, like I said, he'll be there. We have some. I like the depth that we have at corner than I have in the past. Because even in the practice squad, we kept Butler, we kept Hall, practice squad. Um, so that I like, but I think the Justin Rogers is the biggest one for me. It's like, man,
Yeah,
we
man.
need
Yeah.
that's the biggest one because, like you said, Mozzie, we're not, man. We just let go. That 2023 draft pick is the 20 draft class is looking bad right now. Eric Scott, 6th round pick, gone. Mozzie, not looking good. Luke Schoonmaker, not, we'll see what happens there. But I like what's the kid? Is it
Um, um,
Stevens?
John Stevens Jr.
Yeah, I like him more than
Yeah.
Schoonmaker. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
so like that 2020 draft class, 23 draft class, it's just not looking good
Yeah,
right
them
now.
first two picks that was a bust, you ask me. But here's my biggest surprise: Matt Walesko is still on the squad. Damn. What is this guys? What does Matt Walesko, and Josh Ball have against Jerry Jones, or who is he kin to in this organization? Because those two guys cannot disappear. And after watching that game when we played the Chargers, guys, I guarantee 3 of those interceptions that Trey Lance that threw is because you would have thought that the defense was on a blitz package, but no, it was just 4 men rushing that ran right past them. So yeah, that's a big uh surprise to me that Matt Walesko is still here. Man, I thought we was gonna keep Carl Lawrence, but I guess not. Um, Al Qaeda Muhammad, he's suspended, but I guess we'll bring him back. But I was glad to see that Buddy Johnson was on here. So with that being said, guys, let's go over here and let's look at let's see if I got it up here. Let's look at the guys that was waived. Let me see this. So here's the guys that was waived and those guys that's on the practice squad. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we know we got Dalvin Cook, we got Jalen Cropper. So Jalen Cropper is still in the house. Okay. Jalen Cropper is still in the house. So there go your guy, Pete, Josh Ball.
Hey,
Then we got Prince
my
Grant.
the only guy that on that offensive line besides our main guys that we like from that 2023 draft, Awesome Richards is the only guy that I that I like from that draft. So, but yeah, you're right, man. You go ahead, G. You're right about those two.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, man, I was really thinking that Josh Butler was going to push, but he's actually on the practice squad. So
He's on the practice
along with
squad.
Malik Davis, Denzel, we kept Denzel Jackson over Justin Rogers. Wait a minute, Mike, what are we doing here, bro?
Well, Daxton, he's the one that got that sack towards the end to get the ball back to
Oh,
the offense.
stop
Right?
it! Stop
There
it.
was it's almost like the casino, right? When you put your money in a machine and you lose, man, you're having a bad experience, right? But 10 minutes before you leave the casino, you hit a jackpot. You're not thinking
God.
about all the times
Yeah.
you lost. You're
Yeah.
thinking about what you just won. So when Daxton came on, it wasn't about how many times he lost. It was about how many times he won because he won at the right time. And it was towards the end of that fourth quarter against the Chargers. And that stuck in the minds of the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that one. Well, I guess sometimes it just if the stars align right, it might be turn out being your day. I don't know, but that's what we got, guys. Also we have I was watching Dakota Shepley. I like Dakota Shepley. He's a guard slash center. I really like this guy. So he's look like he's on the practice squad as well. And then we got the guys who wound up elsewhere. Eric Scott was claimed by Kansas City's Chiefs,
Thank God.
along with yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Mike Zimmer didn't waste any time getting rid of Dan Quinn guys. You see, I mean, you noticed that Eric Scott was probably one first one. Then we have Julius Woods. He was claimed by Tennessee. Hated that. And Justin Rogers is headed to Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. So, guys, that's where we are, man. So, yeah. But I hate to see Justin Rogers leave like that, but it is what it is. So, so how y'all feeling about this roster, Mike? How you feeling about this roster before we get out of here?
The core pieces are still in place, and we needed. I mean, you look at the linebacker situation; those are all new linebackers. Luafau, Overshown, he's new to us because we haven't seen him play a regular season snap. Eric Kendricks, that linebacker room's fresh. The defensive tackles, you got Phillips, you got
Joseph.
Jordan.
Lemlo.
You got the two big guys. You still got Osa. So you're going to see some new interior. You're going to see some new linebackers. You're going to see a new corners with Booth and with there's roster turnover.
Yeah,
and there's new talent, right? We got rid of a lot of roster garbage. Peyton Hendershot's gone.
He's
Eric
gone.
Scott Jr.'s gone. Nashawn Wright's gone. Josh Ball's gone. We got rid of a lot of roster garbage, and now we got some new faces in here that could turn face and really show us what they're about instead of having these guys linger. Matt Walesko's problem, he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. You want to talk about a guy that don't have a lot of NFL reps? That's Matt Walesko.
Yeah.
I've always liked him over Josh Ball, so I can see why they kept Walesko over Ball because Walesko's always been better than Josh Ball. And so, but Matt Walesko still some roster garbage, just along with Deuce Vaughn. Now Spanfor is the new roster garbage. So we turned some. We got some hanging on. Put the dumpster to the curb. Tomorrow's trash day. Let's keep making some roster moves. Let's keep getting some free agents. And let's get rid of this roster garbage. Tomorrow's trash day. Keep building.
Woo! Give it up for Cowboys Corner. I like that, but and that's so true. We have to bring some new faces. Again, Mike Zimmer is getting talent that fits his scheme. He's not going with just because you drafted this individual. No, I need the players that I need in order for this thing to work. So, how you feeling about this, my Pete? I mean, as far as what you've seen so far with this roster.
Yeah, man. I want to say the most exciting thing for me is that left tackle, left guard, center combination. That is the most exciting thing to me this year. And I want to see if they actually give Rico the opportunity, which it looks like they are because he didn't even play a preseason snap. So it looks like he will get that opportunity. And I want to see if he truly gets it and if he's going to take over that running back position behind this offensive line. And like to your point, is Mike McCarthy going to stay true to it, run the damn ball? So that's going to be the thing. But that's where I'm excited at is this young offensive line and what they can do and take control of the scrimmage and dominate on that side of the ball. It comes and like you said, Cowboys corner two are two big guys on the inside. Same thing on that side. Both sides of the ball. Can we dominate?
Yeah. And I tell you, that was my biggest concern, guys. I really have to say, number one, we drafted Tyler Guyton. I was like, okay, he's a huge guy, but he played the right tackle. And this is just, well, you already know, Mike. But the thing about it is, I was like, can this guy transition from right tackle to left tackle? That's not an easy task. And I heard the former players say, man, that's not an easy task, and it's not. But give thanks to Manyweather, the guy that he got with, along with Cooper Beebe. That was another one. I'm like, man, can this guy actually go from guard, one of the best guards in the NCAA, and come into this level and hold down this center position? And he's been doing it. So I'm a little bit more at ease now, but I was a little concerned. That was my biggest concern. And we still have the season to start. And as I saw yesterday, Mike, they had Cooper Beebe running with the ones. Give it up.
No, you want to see that, right? We appreciate what Brock Hoppin's done, but you invested a lot and
Yeah.
Cooper Beebe drafted him in the third round. So you have to give him every opportunity. It's kind of like the Rico Gathers and Dalton Schultz debacle they created a long time ago. Remember that? Every fan wanted Rico Gathers because he's some former Baylor basketball player. And Dalton Schultz from Stanford, a fourth round pick, said, "No, get out. This is my game. This is my position. I'm taking over." And Dalton Schultz won it. So I need Cooper Beebe to do that to Brock Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen. Again, like I said, go ahead, Mike.
No,
Pete, what you got?
no, you're good. And like I said, it's just the versatility that the guys have. You got a guy
Mhm.
in Cooper Beebe, if you had to, could move to guard. And you got a guy in Hoffman that could come in, if you had to, play center. You got a guy at left guard that can play left tackle. So you have
Yeah.
versatility on the offensive line that's just so great to have. Hopefully, we don't have to come to that point, but to know that you have that is great.
Yeah, and I'm really excited how we are building this front offensive line. You still got Tyler Smith, you got Tyler Guyton, you got Zach, you got Cooper. So I see the transformation that's taking place. We're starting to get young again, and Terrence still is not that old. So I think the oldest guy is Zach Morton, and I'm sure we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But he's dependable. I mean, he can hold his own, so I'm not worried about that. But I see where we're going with this offensive line. Now, with that being said, hopefully we'll be able to run behind this line. So again, I guess what it's going to look like in our backfield, I guess it's going to be Zeke and it's going to be Dalvin. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
What y'all
that's
think?
what
Is
it's gonna
that
start off
is that
with.
what?
It's gonna start that way off, and like you said, it could just be how much time do they give him? Like you said, Dalvin Cook sitting there waiting in the wings. How much time do they give him? And do they pull the string? Hey, Dalvin, get in here. You're gonna get 10 carries this game or whatever the case may be. I am rooting
Well,
for Rico to stay healthy. I hope
yeah,
he takes control of this running back room. But like you said, time will tell.
yeah, and the time. One thing I can say, Mike, is there is going to be experience in this backfield with two
Yeah.
of those. And so, with that being said, do you still think Zeke has something? What do you think both of these guys have something in the tank left?
When Zeke came in, we've already answered this question. We dubbed Zeke as the third and one guy, right? That's what
Yeah,
we dubbed Zeke, and I
yeah,
and
we
I
did.
think that's what Zeke has left in the tank. And you look at what Dalvin Cook. I mean, you look at he's in shape. Zeke stat. I don't know if you've seen Dalvin Cook today at training camp or not. I don't know. Was he there? Did you see him at
No, he
training camp?
wasn't. No, he wasn't there yesterday. I didn't go
How did
today, but
Zeke look physically? I know he wears a hoodie. I know it's probably
no,
hard to tell, but how does
Zeke
Zeke look?
Zeke is Zeke is slim. He's slim. I'm telling you, man, he looks good. I mean, he has that. He still has the burst. I mean, I don't know. I think what we did, man, we wrote him out because we didn't see the big breaks. The 45-yard breaks. But you got to remember when Zeke was here, he finished third and leading rushers at with 876 yards with 12 touchdowns, and we called him washed up. Even though it was within the red zone, but he still had 12 touchdowns and 876 yards. And we said, "Oh, he's done," because we were so used to seeing him do the big breaks and and run downfield and the screen passes and all that. So, but I think, yeah, I'm like you, Mike. I see him as a short yardage red zone type running back, and Rico and I got Dalvin will probably take care of the first and second down. That's where I see it.
I
Just,
agree with
just
that. I agree with that.
yeah,
I agree
Yeah.
because the,
yeah,
the problem with Zeke, and we've seen it time and time again with Zeke, is he'll look good for 4 weeks, and then that fifth week, sixth week, he's running out of bounds. He's giving up yardage. He's not going north and south no more. He's going east and west, running out of bounds. And we're gonna, and I have a feeling
yeah.
we're gonna see that again here in 5 to 6 weeks in October.
But you got to remember too, man. When you've been in the league this long, you get fresh rookies in here. These guys are fast. They're fast as you know what I'm saying. They're fast as this guy got age. Then you got like Overshown. Overshown is hitting these holes like Flash Gordon or somebody. But it's just way it is.
I,
These guys are a lot faster and they're catching up, So
I, I
that's
think
where
another
we
thing
are.
too. I think another two thing too. People were like, they saw the burst from Tony, the big gains from him, and they wanted to see that from Zeke, which I think most of us can sit here and agree. We knew Tony wasn't an 20 plus guy. He wasn't. I like Zeke more as picking up the blitz. I didn't believe in Tony as much as that and picking up the blitz. So we knew going all last year, Tony needed a second guy with him. We just didn't give him that, which, like you said, you we're not going to
Right.
have that bell cow this year either. It's going to be a split package, and just who's going to be
Yeah, for
who's
sure.
going to be
For
splitting
sure.
it, we don't know.
For sure. I agree with you, man. Well, hey, man, I done held you guys up a whole hour on the show, man. Like I say, I have to be aware of my time because I keep you guys on, so I got to be respectful because I know we all got things to do. But, man, like I said, I always appreciate you guys coming through for me, man, and hanging out with me, just talking barbershop talk. And all the Cowboys Corner subscribers and followers, appreciate you as well for coming on, man, and hanging out with us as well, man. So, it's been great. It's been great. There's Patrick Ryder. Well, I don't know what happened. He was
He's
supposed to.
late. He's late.
He said, "Shit, got Frank Gore." Frank Gore Jr. He's a free agent. I saw that, but he's a small dude. He's pretty small. I mean, he's no smaller than Deuce, but he's a small guy. But we'll see what happens. What's up? What's happening? You already know. But anyway,
Hey,
guys, appreciate everybody coming through. What you got? What you got? What you got, Pete?
just saying, it's getting close. It's about to get real, and then we'll see what it's about here real soon.
Yeah, our first opponent is the Cleveland Browns. Are we playing here or are we playing up in Cleveland?
In
In
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
So Amari Cooper is pretty much, yeah.
Well, if he sees that star coming to that Browns field, he might think he's playing on the road, and it could look like crap. So we'll see what happens.
Yee.
You got
Give
to
it
get
up.
Deshaun
It's
Watson
all
out of
right.
that. You have to get Deshaun Watson out of that massage parlor. Also,
We
start
need
getting
to bring him
involved.
Oh,
to the
wow.
field. Mhm.
Boy, that was a low blow. That was a low blow. Get it, get it, get it. But anyway, guys, I'm not gonna hold y'all anymore. Hey, thank you everybody for coming through. Do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you will be notified when the next video is posted. And like I always say, stay safe and continue to be blessed. We out. Deuces.